without further ado, we're going to bring Raymond Romar Clarke on, y'all. Let's go. Come on, Ray. Let's go. Here we go. Romar, say his name right, y'all. Slow down. Oh,
you done messed his name like 3 times.
Okay. What's up, John?
What's up, bro?
How you feeling, my brother? Okay, Ray. Hey, welcome to the show. Right on, bro. Okay. We're here.
Yo, titles. Yes.
We here. Ask me anything you want in there.
Okay, here you go. Say, listen, so I want y'all to pay close attention to this interview right here. This is a big interview right here. All right? Very big interview. And
so spend time with my mother, and Jesse Gray's mother was very close, so I spent time on 112th Street with Jesse Gray. I used to say we were cousins when we were youngsters. Then I went to prep school upstate in Rockland County for a while.
Okay.
Came back to the city, lived on 170th Street on Washington Avenue in the Bronx, but hung out downtown still.
Okay. Yeah, so how was Harlem growing up back in the
Unbelievable, brother. Unbelievable.
In what way?
Every way. It was a community. It was. You had a dark side also.
Mm-hmm.
You had a light side, but you had a community.
Right.
It was like it was any other community, like the suburbs. The old women in Harlem back in the days, you can walk out your house. 20 kids can come out on the block, and whatever old lady was on that block, you were their kids at that time.
100%. I remember. I was one of the little ones.
Yeah, you were their kids. They don't talk about it, They try to give you this scenario about ghetto life and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Harlem wasn't all ghetto. I don't know where they get that myth from.
Right.
We used the word ghetto. We started using the word ghetto back in the 60s when they had the Watch Riot in Los Angeles. They put out an article in Life magazine, and I think Barry White was in that riot, and they said the ghetto. So we started taking the word ghetto, especially the last poets, everybody remember them, and using it as a slang. But then it became a flag for us.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how the word ghetto actually got started. It was really the slums before it was the ghetto.
Right. What year we talking about around?
We talking about like 63, 64.
64.
Yeah, back then it was called the slums.
Okay.
We took the word ghetto and fashioned it in our music.
Right.
And then it just became a flag for us, like
right,
the ghetto. Right. And then all the systematic nonsense came under the word ghetto. Hoolums and all that stuff.
We giving y'all some history right now. Y'all pay attention.
That's right. Get the likes up, man. This is a Harlem legend here, man. This story gonna be great.
Yeah, but and the word ghetto is come from Europe, the Jews. That means row of houses that are close together. And that's synonymous with Europe back in Indiana.
Like they got them in Baltimore.
Yeah, back in the 7th century when in Indiana and Italy and whatnot. That's where the original ghettos come from. Remember, the Jews inhabited some of the neighborhoods before we did.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Then when we came in, all of a sudden it's the ghetto. And, the crime and all that. That ain't nothing but a myth, bro.
I got you. So I see you play some football.
I played a semi-pro league, 1974. I played for the New York Ravens.
Okay.
I was the first rookie running back. I played in Nanuet High School up in Spring Valley when I was up there in prep school.
Okay.
I had an offer. By the time my sophomore year, I had an offer. 2 colleges was interested in me. Maryland State, which is Maryland Eastern Shore now, and the University of Rhode Island. But the school I went to was all white. And I was coming back home on the weekends. Right. And that's when I was hanging with Jesse Gray and whatnot. And then, at that time, the hustlers used to double park their cars in Harlem, all the way up to 135th Street. Right. And it was a sight to see.
Right.
And so every time I came home, I'm mesmerized. I'm like, damn.
Diamond in the back, so that, on that.
Right. So that kind of like incorporated my mentality going into the street.
Streets.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's the same thing like Pee Wee Kirkland said. Pee Wee Kirkland was like, wash out, go in the NBA, get $60,000 a year, and I'm making that on the streets.
Yeah, and then when I was in school, I really didn't have nobody to relate to. Because if you know Harlem back in the days, we had the 5 Percenters, which came out in 1963. You also had Elijah Temple. And you also had Ethiopian Temple and everything. So Harlem always had awareness of who we were in our history.
Right.
The black man was always taught in Harlem. We always knew who we were from babies.
Right.
You can't teach nobody in New York about black history in our day. You talk to any brother my age, he let you know we're the first people of the planet. Yeah. So I got sort of rebellious based on my history also. So when I was upstate with school, I really didn't have nobody to relate to. So I really was standoffish towards everybody.
Prep school.
Yeah. So they kind of expelled me in my sophomore year. That's when I came back to the city.
So you said hanging around guys like Jesse Gray and everybody double parking their cars. So you was like, man, forget this.
Yeah, and my mother went with a musician named Grant Green. He was a big jazz musician. I said, look, at my mother always associated with musicians and whatnot. So a lot of that went into my shaping. You know, and then you got to realize I ran the streets when I was a kid. You know, stole.
Yeah.
I never shined shoes. That's something I never would do. But I catch bottles, pour the piss out the bottles, wash them in the Johnny Pump. That was because we call it the Johnny Pump. Other places, other places they call it the fire hydrant. Right. I washed bottles out. You know, I did all that stuff. Did what I had to do.
So that was in your late 20s or early 20s?
Well, in my late 20s, that's a different era. In my late 20s, I was in the hustling big. That's when I was with Mike Mellon. Mike Mellon is Nicky Barnes' nephew. Mike Mellon's mother is Helen Barnes. Mike Mellon's father's name is Dutch. Dutch married Mike's sister. That's the crew I was in back in my 20s. You know.
So okay, you said Mike Mellon. That's like a very popular guy.
Yeah, his name is Eugene Romero, but we call him Mellon.
Yeah, Eugene Romero. Yeah.
You know, but
Mike Mellon.
Right, but a lot of people.
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, it's Mike Mellon.
So when you left school, you just said, "Fuck it."
I got right in the hustle. I didn't look back at all. I got right in the streets, brother.
Right in the streets.
And then started doing little stick ups here and there.
Right.
So the stick up game was big back then. Right?
Well, you got to realize how the stick up game go. See, what people don't realize about the stick up game in the Bronx, most of all the stick up kids didn't get high or nothing. And Harlem was the fast track. Most of all the brothers in Harlem was already into hustling fast at no time. See, that's what separates Harlem from a lot of boroughs.
Right.
The Harlem hustlers grow up right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of all the brothers, when you move up to the Bronx and you move back to Harlem, you start off sticking up. Then you come back to Harlem already knowing how to gunplay.
Right.
You see, but actually the Bronx had a lot of stick up kids, clean cut kids that would stick up.
Yeah. Bronx.
Oh, so you started off as stick up kid first, or hustler?
I just started off. You know, I don't know what came first. I just started off, man.
You just want some
money.
I
just want some money, man.
Because both was fast money back then. Both was
nothing was like the hustle game back then. Nothing could compare to that, man. Nothing. And Harlem in the 1970, 75% of all the heroin addicts come out of New York City. 75%.
Dang.
You could sell a Kia Coke. I don't know about now because I don't know too much about that stuff now. But you could sell a Kia Coke back then. It was $22,000. A Kia heroin was $250,000 just on consignment, bro.
Just one?
Yeah.
One, 250,000 on consignment.
Yeah.
On consignment.
That was a Kia heroin.
Yeah.
This myth they show about it happened about the women being naked, bagging and all that. That really happened, but you didn't have to do that.
Right.
You could take a key and put it on the scale. You knew exactly what you had to do. And there's a way to test it. You had to test it and everything because if you don't know how to test it, you wind up owing these people money. You know. Yeah. And the black family started with Nick back in 1972, I think.
Who, Nick?
Yeah, they started. Yeah, there's no times could sell nothing in Harlem, man.
Oh, Nicky Barnes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick only problem was one problem. He turned steaks. Outside of that, he was.
But they said Nicky Barnes was a dope fiend.
He was.
He went to jail, got clean, then he came home and.
When I was in jail with the guy who put him on, Matty Madonna.
Matty Madonna.
Yeah. I know Matty. We was all in Lewisburg together.
From the Lucchese family.
Yeah.
The
all of us in Lewisburg together. So I just talk to Matty every day.
Right.
What happened was, Nick was a drug addict. Most of all the top hustlers, a lot of them back then were drug addicts. You know, they kicked the habit. Frank James is his right hand man. I got pictures of me, Frank, all of them, Wally. What's his name just passed away? Jazz.
Yeah, Jazz.
I got Jazz, Leo Hayden. Yeah. And I'm with all of them. Then Pete, Pistol Pete Rolock. His son is Pistol Pete, not him.
Yeah.
Right.
See, a lot of people call him Pistol Pete. But Pete was on Nicky Barnes' first case. He got 7 to life out of that case. When he came home, he got with us. Mike Bell and us. It was me, Mike, Heartbeat, and Pete. You know, and we patrolled Boston. Then we had Mike had the biggest black-owned building in Michigan, under 2 apartments. We had Eddie Mustafa, light heavyweight champion. We had him. Pete put money up with, I think, Underwood to start Keith Sweat off.
Y'all read about Underwood.
That's my man, man. That's my man. I mean, Underwood's close.
So I'm glad we have like an OG. Get the likes up, man. This is
this
history.
is a big story right
This
here,
is
man.
big.
Y'all know how to beat 139. Y'all know how we do.
Y'all already
This
know.
is a triple OG right here.
Triple OG.
Like before you came, Raymond, right? Me and Doc
Say Romar, because if everybody listening,
no.
they know who Romar
Raymond
is.
Romar.
Just say Romar.
Just say Romar, right? Romar, before you came, me and Doc we was talking a little bit, and we was telling everybody, you know, we got a triple OG, a real triple OG coming in, and we ain't never had nobody come in the show with the type of interview we doing with you today, man.
Yeah,
So
thank you, brother.
You just made history of the beat.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. He 100% right. I'm gonna ask you before I forget. A lot of people been speculations, right? I've been seeing. Do you know Puff father Melvin Combs?
I was in Green Haven with Melvin Combs in 1972. I was the youngest guy in Green Haven. I was 19 years old. I don't know him at all, but through the undergroup. Well, see, we have information nobody has. You're not even the feds. So it was reported to me through the grapevine, loose talk. Cause I'm not here to trash nobody.
Right.
But it was said that he was an informer.
I heard that.
So they killed him, I think, in 74 and dumped his body in
He got
Central
killed
Park.
in 72.
72 was it 72? The person who they say on the underground was a tall brother. He was a good brother. He was in Nick's crew. You know, the poster.
I heard about that. I just want to make sure.
His name is Melvin Combs.
Melvin Combs, because I heard that he was an informant. That's why.
Yeah. That's been known.
Yeah, so
yeah.
this is big.
This
that
is
you know
big
what I mean.
interview
People,
right here.
this is what I'm saying. You
pay attention.
Pay attention.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I'm
who was your crew back then?
I had the same crew. We don't switch crews. We stayed the same. Me, Mike. We were all together since we were youngsters.
Okay.
Me, Mike, and Heartbeat, and then Pete came in later on.
Heartbeat. I remember Heartbeat. I was a little
Timmy
kid,
Smith.
I think he had game
I was
rules.
in old school with
No, he had the high feet seafood on 7th Avenue.
Right.
Heartbeat seafood.
I was in old school with Heartbeat.
He had he had a white. He had a Thunderbird white with a red top.
The red top. Remember
The Heartbeat.
Yeah,
They had a place on 141st Street on 7th called Heartbeat Seafood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he had that.
Yeah.
So you said you got in where you fitted, sticking up, hustling. Which one?
Well, I didn't really choose the path I got.
Okay.
I was on the rock back in early 70s, and I always had a good bam game, you know.
Right.
And I used to watch my man's back because he was, you know, Harlem Bronx kid, man. You know, got all the Brooklyn in there, so you know, got Brooklyn is.
Yeah.
So I used to watch Ronnie. Ronnie was Mike's half brother. So Ronnie always said, "Hey, Ro, man."
Ronnie who?
Her name was Ronnie McKissick.
Okay.
And on my block, when I lived on my mother's block up on 168 on Nelson, I sort of like was being the big brother. Even though I was a youngster, I was still a big brother to the cats. I was doing all the fighting for them.
Right.
So they always used to say, "Ro, my man, them cats downtown, they're like you. You're gonna make it." You know, I'm used to being, I'm an individual, man. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to be with nobody, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and when I went to the Rock, we was in 3 block, me and Ronnie. I used to watch his back. He always said, "Hey, Ro, I'm gonna introduce you to my man. You're gonna be on." One day he came to my house, knocked on the door. That was it, man. The very first day I went downtown on 12th Street. We were youngsters. We were doing scrambling there. Met Mike. Never looked back since, man.
Scrambling.
Yeah, that's
Old school hustling called scrambling.
Scrambling.
I got to learn this stuff right here. We talking some real history, man.
Yeah, and I never looked back.
So see, back then it was a lot of like players. So Melvin Combs, he was in Nicky crew, right?
I don't know what crew he was in. I doubt it, because I never got anything about him being associated with Nick.
Because
He might have been, but I never got any information about him being associated with Nick. I watched Nick's back for 1 month. Nick had a place called Jagazy's. That's on 17th Street, right on Lenox, right across from Millbank. And that was their spot.
Right.
We used to go up. But at that time, Nick was like a hero to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to like smell his drinks and watch his back. So his big bodyguard, Big Smitty, came over and said, "Hey, man, y'all have to get off Nick." So when they talked, you listen, you know.
Right.
So I got off Nick. But about a week later, they came back and said, "Romar, get back on Nick's back."
Uh-huh.
I watched his back for a month, and the Jagazis and the Torian, a place called the Torian too.
Uh-huh.
You know, so I went to court for him one time too. Drove back with him. You know.
Right. So what year did you get transformed into Hustling World Full Throttle?
Let's say 1977 turned me out completely.
Right. What made you mean to turn you out?
That's when I didn't look back.
Right. Yes.
I just like full
So
fledged.
you formulated your own crew, or you just?
No, I stayed with my crew.
Stay with the crew.
Yeah, because I got locked up in '77. I was up in Attic. I came home in '80.
Uh-huh.
Mike and them came to pick me up. By the time I came home, I was seasoned now, man. That was it.
Right. So you was ready to go.
I went. I'm not ready to go. I went.
So how was the Hustling World comparison back then till now?
Two different worlds. You couldn't find a rap back there.
At all?
Nah.
So it was cold, it was rules.
You never hear nobody my age come to you, or any brother out there come to you back in when y'all were kids back in the 60s, 70s, early 80s, that said somebody ratting on them. You never heard that?
Never.
Somebody ratted back then.
Why?
We were men.
They had codes back then.
We were men.
Right.
We were youngsters, but we wore suits. We dressed. We were men.
So,
we looked at ourselves as professionals. We looked at ourselves as professionals.
Right.
You know?
So
the Titans ain't had nothing. We didn't give a fuck about the Titans. Because we didn't care about the Titans and nobody, man.
Right.
That myth about the Titans are tougher than black.
Why they say that?
Because that's how they look at it. That's what they raised on. But if you look at black history, you look at the warriors that come out the motherland, how they tougher than us? When the Nubians chopped off Augustus Caesar's head and sent it back to Rome. Anybody know that?
Right. They don't talk about that.
Nah. But I do. See, I talk about what they don't talk about.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why you here.
Yeah. But nobody ever talked about it. The Nubians cut his head off and sent it back. Augustus Caesar cut his head off and sent it back to Rome. They tell them lies about Hannibal. Hannibal went up there with elephants. So how we can't fight today?
Right.
Why
are we the most fit?
When we the heavyweight in a boxing ring, we the heavyweight champion for how long?
Right.
We the top running back for how long?
All the time.
We the number one ball player for how long?
All the time.
So how is it that we can't fight? How is it that the Guineas, which we call them,
right,
got something that we don't have? How are they tougher than us?
I ain't never
but they was like you said Matty Madonna, he became the head of the Lucchese family. They was more supply.
No, what I'll tell you that in a minute. What they don't do is they don't talk about who control what and who respects money. See, we ran the streets. The Jews and the Irish ran the docks. The Italians ran that.
Right.
Okay? When Nick came up, Nick said no more consignment in Holland. We'll buy from you. I'll be the supplier. Manny actually taught Nick a lot of stuff. Right? What they don't talk about is the Italians they make it seem like the blacks and the Italians was always fighting. Caller. They make it seem like the blacks and the Italians was always fighting, but they don't ever show that the blacks, the Italians, and everybody that understands money.
Right.
That we didn't have no problem because we all understood money and we all had our thing. Right. Now, some of the beasts were people that owe, like when you watch the story of Bumpy Johnson, somebody that owed money, something like that.
Yeah.
But that didn't go on like that.
Yeah. Right. You have a caller. Caller, what's up? You here with Raymond Romar?
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing, man? B139.
Hey, roll your boat.
Romar. Caller.
Yeah, the Purple Gang was over there back in the 40s and 50s. The Time Boys were still over there back in them days. Yeah, but they wasn't out during the Harlem era back in the 60s and whatnot. Were they out during that time? No, my era is 60s, 70s and whatnot. They probably came right, but it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that Dominicans in New York during that time. The biggest population on the east side was the Puerto Ricans. They started flooding in 1947. Okay, my brother.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate you calling, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Definite, man. Shout out to the caller for calling.
Yeah, I like that.
But that's great history. You know what I mean? So you said something very important. You said the Bumpy Johnson era. I know that.
Okay.
Before Nicky Bond.
Well, yeah, but Bumpy really wasn't in the street for a long time. What do people don't know about Bumpy? Bumpy did most of his time in jail. But I don't like people when they try to say they the Godfather. He's the Godfather.
Bumpy the Godfather.
Bottom line,
Right.
no question.
Right.
Why I say that? You had black gangsters in Harlem. You had back in the early 20s, you had what they call the San Juan Hill gang. These were black dudes that came back from World War I that fought with Teddy Roosevelt.
Right.
They took that hill in Cuba called the San Juan Hill.
Uh-huh.
When they came back, they was in Chelsea district over there, right? And they formed the black gang called the San Juan Hill gang. Remember that movie that came out with Ragtime?
Yeah, Ragtime.
Remember he went to the blacks? They were like that for real, but they don't like to talk about it. When the Irish on the 5 Points was killing black down there through the ride, they didn't come up in the 20s and hit no brothers. But they never showed that part. So all they showed was pulling black dudes off the stagecoach and killing them. So you get the impression that you was killing us.
Right.
You see? But no, they had a gang called the San Juan Hill gang. And they were on the ground, but they were nothing to play with. So we always had gangs. They just ain't had that dude. Bumpy was that dude.
Right.
He was the first one to actually oppose the Times. What happened was Bumpy was in Clinton. And I think the Irish and the Times never really got along. So I think they wanted to get in Luciano's ass. Bumpy wrote Shotgun for him. Said, I got your back. But this is what I want. Because at that time, the Times was trying to take the number game.
Yeah, I remember.
So Bumpy said, no, I want my section of numbers. Luciano said, okay, no problem. So when he got it, the Times said, nah, man, you get this nigga, blah, blah, blah. That's when Bumpy said, man, blah, blah, blah. But they went to Luciano. Luciano said, no, don't touch him.
Right, right.
But they didn't care. And they tried to get Bumpy. And that's when Bumpy showed you who he was.
There you go.
So
And he's the Godfather. We're the last stage of the Bumpy Johnson era.
Yeah, because it started from Bumpy.
Yeah,
You got
no question.
So what about Frank Matthews?
Okay, Frank Matthews was an individual hustler. He was like silent, but he was one of the first black dudes to have a caravan coming from the South American country over to America and go. Frank Matthews. But he was more silent. I think he stayed mostly, if I'm correct, he might have stayed in Brooklyn. How he got locked up was he was coming in early in the morning and some white lady, I don't know if it was Staten Island or Brooklyn, in one of his houses, he had a nice big home. And he was coming in like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. And this white lady knew that people that work don't come in that time. No black dude at that time in that kind of home.
Right.
And put the heat on him. That's how he got knocked off. Now they say he skied up with 20 million, 30 million, right? Me, I look at it like they really knocked him and took his money because at that time, you might have to have some Italians or some whites to help you move out. Right. But a lot of people say, no, nothing happened to him. But my guess is I think they iced him, but I could be wrong. But he was an individual hustler.
What about you know anything about Frank Lucas?
Cold Punk. Had a 2-year run in Harlem. That's all.
2-year run.
2-year run. That's it. He's from the South.
So they make him more than what he is.
South Carolina, North Carolina.
I think South. He moved to New Jersey.
Right.
The dude that set everything up was called Ike Atkinson. Ike Atkinson was the one in Vietnam. Right. A lot of people don't know about Ike. Little dude with a black dude with the English accent. He's down in North Carolina now. He got a book out called.
They portrayed him in the movie.
They made him like he the biggest thing in Harlem.
Nah, it wasn't him.
No, they made the dude with the accent like he was.
Nah, listen. Let me explain. This is true. Okay. The dude name is Ike Atkinson. Okay. Ike was the one that orchestrated all that. Okay. The feds got on top of Ike, so he couldn't come back. I think Frank Lucas was messing with his sister or something, so he put the work in Frank Lucas' hand. It's just common sense. If you got that type of work during that type of time, you're going to blow up. Right. It's a 2-year run.
Really, a 2-year run?
Yeah, that's it.
Real flamboyant.
2-year run. Never no gangster in Harlem. Never. Not even from Harlem. I don't know where they get that myth from. He's from the South. I met his brother when I was on Raggers Island. His brother's name is Larry Lucas. Very nice dude. Okay. As brother, very nice dude. Named Larry Lucas. Straight up everything.
Yeah, they had a thing about it saying that the Southern boys, like the Southern boys came from the South and they came and took over some more boys.
Like what? What did they take over? Who was bigger than Nick? Who was bigger than Jesse Gray?
That's right.
Who was bigger than Raider Man? We had hustlers Raider Man, Jesse Gray.
Yeah, Jesse Gray is big. Yeah.
Back in the who was bigger than you had guys like Slim Humphrey. You don't talk about. You had Watusi and Goldfinger. I think the Titans knocked off back in the 60s. You had Raider Man that was good with them dice. Shoot at the Paradise Bar over 110th Street on 8th.
Right, so we
Good
talking
them.
about the 60s.
Yeah, 60s. Yeah, we had guys they don't even have. You had Kurt and Pee Wee.
What do you ever heard of a dude named Freddie Brown?
Yeah.
From uptown?
Yeah, from the Bronx.
At the orange Cadillac?
I thought Freddie Myers.
Freddie Myers.
No, I know about Freddie Myers, but they got a dude named Brown too.
Yeah,
Norman Brown. No, Fred, you got a dude named Brown too out the Bronx.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Freddie was like that. I was in Lewisburg with Freddie.
Freddie Myers.
Yeah,
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 the orange,
yeah,
orange
yeah,
Cadillac with the brown top.
yeah. Freddie Myers. All of us was in Lewisburg together. Me, Freddie, Frank James,
Yeah, Frank James.
DJ, brother Muhammad Gap too.
Guy Fisher.
I was in
Who
Allenwood
you
with
talking,
him.
Brother James?
Frank James, yeah.
And Donald Rogers.
Frank James is Nick right hand man for real.
Yeah.
You said who? What's your name?
Freddie
Yeah.
Myers.
Yeah, but I wasn't in his crew. I was just in Lewisburg with him.
Yeah, no, I know all the hall. A lot of downtown had a lot.
Yeah.
Of,
Yeah,
Man, all of them was serious, man.
Yeah.
So what's your
Because Guy Fisher came much later, right?
He was in Nick's crew. He wasn't in my crew.
Yeah.
I don't know him like that. Never really associated with him. You know, just to me, he's just a regular dude.
So Guy wasn't as big as people make him out to be. Because the way how it portrayed, like it's like Nicky then Guy, and people saying like Guy just as big as Nicky.
No, he was nowhere near Nick. He was nowhere near Nick. I don't know where to get that myth from. He wasn't even bigger than my rappy Mike. You gotta be joking. Nowhere near none of that. He had a flashy name, and God just took to his name. But he wasn't no real, you know what I'm saying, bro.
Right.
Oh, he wasn't like that.
Come on, man. Hell no.
Now I'm just saying. See, we know like guys.
Don't even talk about him because he ain't important like that with me. So he's not the center of this conversation.
Right.
If he listens, that's his business. But he's not important to me.
Right.
Yeah.
He might be important to them,
Yeah.
but he's not important to me.
Yeah.
So his name is irrelevant to me,
Right.
and he know who I am.
Yeah.
So I ain't got no problem.
No. I'm not saying that, but we always like we
He was just
youngsters.
around the time of your
But
era.
we
He-
youngsters, we always heard like the way how it portrayed us. They's like of course they said like the guys like Bumpy and them, but they saying that era there was like
But we're not. But see, this is what we're talking about here.
Right.
We're talking about the gangsters, not the playboys.
There you go.
Let's get that. Don't get that
Gangsters,
mixed
you
up.
understand what I'm saying?
Don't get us mixed up with the playboys
100%.
and the money. We just talking about the gangsters.
So
Bump-
outside of you and the guys you was affiliated with as far as being gangsters, who else? You had any rivalries that was like gangsters? You know how that go.
That's around or not around.
Both.
Ain't none of them around.
Oh, hey, that's how it goes.
It ain't that, man.
so,
I don't want to go detour. Ain't none of them around, brother.
Listen, man, it is what it is. That's how the game go, man.
And if they think I'm telling the myth, pull up the records. They seen YouTube. They seen all that.
yeah, but
I can't hide them. None. They know.
you
Ain't
definitely
but
not
one
hiding.
Raymond Clarke.
That's right.
Yeah, because we definitely
Romar.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we
I know
definitely-
Romar is.
we definitely saw the documentary
Yeah.
on YouTube. Y'all need to go check it out. Tell them what the documentary that it says. The title of it said the war with
Bridgeport.
the war in Bridgeport. Go
Right.
look at YouTube not
Jacksons.
right now.
He wasn't no walk.
Oh yeah, we're
That-
gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's saying, but the title says. I just have to tell them the title for the
Yeah,
check it.
Right.
Go to YouTube, check the title of the Jackson's war
Jackson
in
organization and all
Jackson
that. Yeah.
organization Bridgeport. So you want to talk about that? The Jackson organization. That's not the name.
Okay, there's no such thing as the Jackson organization. That's some stuff that the feds just put together to get us censored because he's the main informer. In my case, I don't have a bit of evidence. Not no paperwork, no eyewitness, nothing. But if they got me doing all this stuff, how they gonna nail me? So they made my
What they had you doing? These people here, they like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
You ain't got to go in full detail. There it is.
Now they just they're
That's
going
right.
to
Read the
definitely
book.
go
It's
look
all
at the
in
book. But also the video it explains what they because he did over 30 years.
30 years and 6 months.
Yeah, so he did a lot.
They
of
claim I was the
enforcer.
enforcer.
The enforcer, right?
You know, they claim this without an ounce of evidence or nothing.
Did the hustling affect your family life?
I never involved my family with anything. I never involved your family, kept all that separate. No. it affected me when I went away from my family.
Right.
But I never exposed my family. We never exposed our family. That was strictly us.
Right.
Nobody took our weight. We took our own weight.
There you go.
You know, that's I didn't. If you owe me money, I didn't go to your mother. I'm gonna kill your son. We didn't do that. I didn't hurt your mother, your sister, and I kept them out of it. I said, if you see your son, tell him I want to see him. You better come around. Blah blah blah. But I would never hurt nobody's family. We never did that.
So,
You know?
yes. So, this is another myth because a lot of people they ask a lot of questions on here. One more thing about Nicky, because it's always reflected. Is it true that he snitched because Guy Fisher was sleeping with Shemeka, or that's a myth?
No, you got to understand. And a lot of people, I hate it. I hate to say it. I want you all to listen to it. I hate to say this, man. You know, because it's a true issue. What people don't realize is, what were we before we were hustling? What sort of attitudes did we have? Were we selfish when we were kids? Were we personal when we were kids? What did we grow up with? You know, that's mine. He took that from me. Understand us how we grew up as black kids in Harlem. You know, some of these characteristics stay with you all the way. Okay, now let's switch to the hustling scene. We grown men, we're adult, we're dealing with bank. Okay, now the policy, now keep that in mind what I'm telling you. Now the policy is when we sit down at the table, remember, we all got our own agendas, but we have to make an agenda that we all agree to.
Right.
Because your agenda might be, niggas look at me wrong, blah, blah, blah. Yours might be, I'm going to walk away.
Right.
But when we sit at the table, we have to make an agenda where we all agree to. You have to take that out. I can't do that no more. Right. You got to take yours. I can't do that no more. The agenda that Nicky and them made was don't mess with each other's women. Don't mess with each other's wives. That was the policy of their crew.
That was their policy.
Yeah.
The council, right?
Yeah. I'm the same way. I don't want to mess with your wife. I don't care if you get locked up or nothing. I'm not messing with nobody's wife. And I'm not messing with your woman. That's just bottom line. That was the crew. Okay. And don't go outside us. I got to connect. Y'all don't have to go nowhere. We're all millionaires. You see? Okay. He gets busted.
Who gets busted?
Nick. Okay. He goes to court. Now the story I got from Jazz is when they was in court, God could have took the stand and said something that got them all off. He refused. And nobody knows this. You're hearing it firsthand.
Hold up, we getting exclusive. Hold up, get the lights up, man. This is exclusive right here. We got to tell these people that they have to hear this. Go ahead.
They said that God could have took the stand. I don't know what it was based on, and he could have got them all off. But he didn't. That fucked them all up. So they all got sentenced. Okay, now this man is in jail. I'm pretty sure this is on his mind. Okay, so now he gives the package to his woman, Shemeka. We riding shotgun for her. So that's how much I know. I'm the one that's riding, riding shotgun for me and Mike and whatnot. But Mike is his nephew, so we part of it. Okay, he tells his crew, you don't have to mess with anything, blah, blah, blah. But some of them went outside of that. Right? So I guess his money started getting jammed up. So you in the penitentiary, right away your mind is already twisted. Because what was your attitude when you was a child? Was you selfish? If something happened to me, blah, blah, blah. Remember, nobody looks at that. Right. What was your attitude? We don't know. All right, now he finds out that Tito was driving around with Thelma, which is his wife. He found out that Guy Fisher was messing with Shemeka. He blew up.
Oh, so Tito had his wife, Thelma.
I don't know if he that second one, but he was riding around with
Thelma.
And he don't like Tito at all, top.
And Tito, was he Spanish?
No, Tito Johnson.
Oh, Tito Johnson.
Yeah.
I heard about Tito Johnson.
Yeah.
And Guy was with Shemeka.
Right.
His number one.
Right. Right. And now,
his money getting lost.
And then the money.
Right.
And then what was your attitude? Because my attitude, I ain't never been selfish.
Right.
So if somebody took my woman, how can I get mad? How many women have I took?
Right.
If somebody else, if that's the case.
I got you.
See, but what prompted you to blah, blah, blah? Think about when you're growing up. Was you selfish when you was a kid? Was you always, I'll get back? Right. Somebody get at me? So you got to understand that, man. So that goes into these guys that sometimes I think they're very selfish, man.
So Nicky already had his time before he came back to snitch, or he snitched before.
No, he had his time. He snitched. He got locked up. He snitched after 2 or 3 years. He got locked up in '77.
Oh,
He
okay,
started-
he snitched later on.
Yeah.
Since we was in jail.
Yeah, because we was still talking on the phone.
Yeah, he
Me and Mike,
yeah.
we had a place. We, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Oh, so
hold.
that's true.
So you saying going back just a little bit? We going back to the table. Y'all made little.
They did. I ain't in their crew.
They made.
Yeah, that's their crew.
They made an agreement. Certain things is off limits.
Right, and they broke that agreement.
But the mafia is like that too. The mafia is the mafia. If you sleep with somebody, woman, that's a death sentence.
Yeah, man. So
And then not only that though, that and along with everything else, what he's really saying is though, that you're right. When you make an agreement at a table, once you leave that table, you got to honor that agreement, or you gonna have a problem.
and what I'm trying to tell you is this: you before we go to the table, right?
Right.
What is your agenda and how you look at stuff? What is your agenda? Because you might not look at it like me.
Right.
So I have to sit at this table and say something that we all can agree to.
Right.
You know, because you might not have to agree to what I'm saying. Like, hey, hold up, man, I have to go. So that's tough, also.
Right.
So you talking about you got grown men that they own men,
Right.
so they gotta confront with you. Like, all right, bro, I've honored that. So that goes into it too. Now, while you honor it, how do you really feel inside? What is your character, man? See, the informer on us, this dude Jackson, I never really knew this dude. Mike and them met him in Ashland, Kentucky. I got locked up first. I got locked up in '77 on 12th Street, right after Nick got locked up. I don't know if Nick got locked up at the time I got locked up, but he was going to court during that time. Because I went to court for him one time. I got locked up in '77. Mike, Pete, and all them got locked. Yeah, they got locked up either '78 or the end of '77. They met this dude in Ashland, Kentucky. He's a cokehead. I don't know what went on or anything. All I know, they had mailed him clothes because he was a coke fiend. They mailed him clothes to come home and everything. I came home in 1980. Mike and them pulled up on 11th Street on 8th. Romar, I said, all right, hook me up. They introduced me to the dude. I told Mike all the way back then, I said, if we ever have a problem, it's going to come from him. And I didn't know the dude.
What's his name? Jackson?
James Jackson.
James Jackson.
But what, this is how a lot of guys, when they get into this life, they don't understand informers because they don't look at what I look at. They don't look at character in people. See, they don't take time for that in the hustling world. See, they look at, he can grind and he's making money real fast. And them other niggas they put down. Today, them are all informers.
So you saw it in him. So when you said him, so he gonna
Didn't even know him, yeah.
Wow. So you seen that early. So
And he gets, now this is the part where I come in Bridgeport. We had Bridgeport sold up in the game. They get locked up in Bridgeport. At that time, they had some old raggedy project out there called the Father Panic Village.
Where's Bridgeport?
Connecticut.
Connecticut, right?
They get locked up in Bridgeport. But they got a witness against them. They call New York. They say something to Mike. Mike comes to me, relay, Romar, blah, blah, blah. We go all the way out there. I don't even know this dude like that. Same dude that pointed finger at me. We go all the way out there. Snatch this dude. So, the thing to his head, hey, bro, you want to change your testimony.
Right.
Say, ain't no problem, brothers. You go to court, change the testimony. They got out of jail based on that. 1987, this guy pointed finger at all of us. When he came to court, I was the first one he pointed to. Do you know that to be Raymond Clarke? He said, no. Do you know that to be Romar? Oh, yeah, that's him in the black suit.
wow.
He ain't got nothing to do with me. In 1983, the coup split. He wanted to go on his own, so he went under the table and got his own shit. You know, I guess the white boy said, man, I could make more like that, which that was a bad move. He went and got his own stuff. So we split. Nobody said nothing to him. So you get busted for your own thing. Why you bring us down?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy because I see in the thing.
You know why he did it?
Reason why he
wanted
probably
to get
did
less time.
But what was Mike looking at to put him down? What I'm saying to you brothers now is I'm showing you that even in the hustling world, even in the street life, we had some form of morals. We wasn't just
Codes.
we just wasn't niggas out there like they try to make us see. Hoodlums running around. We were people with attitudes, character, and everything from all walks of life.
Right.
That's what made Harlem so good and hustling.
Yeah.
It was a community of its own. It was the only community like that in America.
In the world.
And every brother in Harlem respected everybody's territory.
Yep.
You got over by who had the best. If it wasn't for the dope fiends, half of us wouldn't have been shit because there's their blood that put the money in our pocket.
Let's talk about the dope fiends.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
But who's talking about them today?
Nobody.
Who's giving them honor today?
Nobody.
But back then, a pervert, a child molester couldn't come in your neighborhood with them in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Your mother didn't have to ever worry about bringing her groceries upstairs if they was in the neighborhood.
Them dope fiends wasn't only just getting high. Them dope fiends looked out for
They're taking
families.
a lot of hits.
Not just that, they can fight too. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I seen dope fiends knock a few people.
And what possessed them to use drugs? The same thing that possessed them to use drugs is the same thing that possessed us to shape our attitudes. We all had our own demons, man. What possessed Raymond Romar to get out there, to get into that world and don't give a fuck? Rebellion. What we did was we just made our wrong our right. Years later, we look back, we were the biggest problem. We was the one. Right. Our mistake was we didn't buy a building in Harlem. We didn't buy shit. Now who owns Harlem? Right. How many brothers is walking the street begging and whatnot? Who's tearing up the streets now in the construction? The little Cuchifritos. Yeah. Right. Getting all the contracts. Right. Tearing up neighbors don't even need to be teared up. And what are we doing? That was our biggest mistake, man. We went more with the glamour. Right. Than with the, man.
Yeah, because definitely like in the documentary that they got, y'all definitely got to go check that out.
And I'm glad you're talking with me because it's beautiful to see that y'all can vibe in this,
you
man.
know, see, you're a triple OG, right? And I'm an OG. And he about to be an OG, right? But now, all jokes to the side, right? We know the stories because we were little, and we had family members who told us the stories. And one thing about y'all, we remember the stories and we respected y'all. What y'all taught us, we respected and we honored it. It's the generation who came past behind us who just fucked everything up. That's why we can vibe with you.
And the reason I know, because you know my father, and my father is in the game a long time. He's pretty known, and he told me a lot of history, also about what's going on.
Oh, okay. He knows that. Yeah. Black Ronnie.
Black Ronnie, heard of Black.
All right, Black Ronnie was a bully. Yeah, Black Ronnie was on 17th Street when Nick Nicholas started coming across. Mm-hmm. But Black Ronnie was known as a bully. Motherfucker just do what he wanted to do out there. You know? Nobody no
scared.
Yeah. He gets knocked off in a place I think called Reflections. Mm-hmm. Take that. Don't mess with them. You know? Mm-hmm. A couple other people. Is my thing was, because y'all can read between the lines. My thing was how you come in the door, that's how you come out the door. Mm-hmm. When I went to prison, I didn't come into prison playing, trying to make friends with nobody, but not trying to get nobody's business, not trying to disrespect nobody. Mm-hmm. I didn't give a damn about the district, the DC dudes, because they always pile up, but they never bothered us. Mm-hmm. They always said that the younger guys this, but y'all we respect. Why? Because we represented the apple.
Yeah.
Right. Bottom line, man. We the New York niggas, man. Bottom line.
Yeah.
And ain't none of you niggas tougher than us. That's how we look at that. But at the same time, it's a waste of time even because we trying to get out of prison, man.
So you talking about around this time. Not now, but
you talking about when I was bitten, yeah.
Right. When you was bitten, they respect the OGs, but the young dudes is the one that had the problem.
The DC dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they like hyenas. They travel in packs.
Yes, they do. That's how they run, yeah.
But they never talk about the New York boys that put work in. Like Black Rob, a big black nigga about 6'3" from Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Everybody scared of him. Right. And DC niggas say 2 words to him. Yes. He put work in right there on the spot. But they don't talk about it. And then when they ask somebody in prison to talk, they always get some nigga with a scoundrel face. They can't say 2 words of English. You got to get your knife. That's how you got to do it. And then you got to watch yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to do none of that shit if you ain't bothering nobody, man. We was there. Yeah, exactly. What you talking about? Right. Got guys graduating from college. I'm one of them. I'm an artist also. I draw. Okay. You got guys graduating from college. You got guys that went to school. You got guys that don't do none of that stuff. So what they talking about? You got guys that don't fuck with no faggots. None of us fuck. We don't even let faggots sit at our table. 100%. But they don't talk about this. All they show you is 7 Mexicans jumped the brother and beat him up.
Mhm.
And they put it on TV, so you think the Mexicans are always beating us up.
Right.
And they wouldn't dare say 2 words to us, man.
Nah.
So they take a prison in Oklahoma somewhere and show a brother getting beaten up and then put it on the New York station like somebody else got beat up.
Mhm.
No, it ain't like that. You have instances where guys do get caught late. That's because they go out there late. But as a whole, New York roll.
Roll heavy.
New York got some brothers, man.
Yeah, definitely have some
Yeah.
some brothers.
Yeah,
So-
respected all over the place.
Yeah.
As long as you stuck together.
Yeah.
So
Kept it
we
solid.
we saw like also the guy Mark Ryder.
That's my co-defendant.
Yeah, Mark Ryder, your co-defendant. He's the associate of the Gambino family. He was heavy in the drug game. So she say something about Mark Ryder. He's a white guy, Mark
He's
Ryder.
part,
For
Mark's
our
a,
listeners,
but he's
that just know that show.
yeah, Mark's a solid dude, man. A good dude. He when we was on trial, this guy stood up, man. They offered him 63 years to become an informer. Turned it down.
Oh, 63 years?
Yeah. And then they wound up giving him
They offered him 63 years to be, or 63 months
63 years.
to be an informer. What? That ain't no deal.
Yeah, because they trying to give him life. 63 is a deal. You getting life.
Yeah, but that
They
really
just,
wanted to be
they
informed.
just
could have did better than that.
They just came.
They
we
letting you know, man. We ain't going no longer.
they just came. Well, me and Mark were sellers when we was MCC. So then we was in Alabama. Before I came home, we were together. They just offered Mark $1 million deal. They offered Mark $1 million deal for the tell his part of the story, because mostly all the Italian dudes, man, they're dead and whatnot. So who else can tell the story? So I just talked to Pete last week. Pete Rowland, my rap. And Peter said they had offered Mark $1 million to do some type of story.
Man, $1 million.
Yeah.
So do you think he got any chance of coming home? Because he went to trial. Once you go to trial, you can always come back like on a pill or something. But he went to for drugs?
No, we always on trial together. No, you gotta understand. Our case lasted 5 months, man.
No, but I'm saying he got convicted for drugs.
Oh,
right?
no, we all got convicted for the same thing. He got the RICO.
Oh.
How long he been locked up now?
We all got locked up at the same time since 1987.
He got 63 years.
No, he got double life.
He got life.
Oh, he got double life. Oh, yeah.
But he got 63 years and double life. But they knocked the double life off, just gave him life. So that's all they got to deal with. But he's trying to get some rhythm now, because they should let him go now. You know, because I mean, he's come on, man.
How old is he now?
Mark got to be close to 80 years old, man.
Yeah, they might give him a little grace, man. You know.
But when we was locked up, they were saying the King of New York was our case, and they was calling me Lawrence Fishburne and him Frank Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody swear that was our case, King of New York.
Yeah, because they really paint the picture. They's like when Romar come around,
Yeah.
it's a problem, because Romar is a muscle. So on the documentary, they's like, yo, he the real head buster. So people shook up when you came around.
Your name rang a lot of bells back then. Dudes move out the way. Pretty much, what Doc saying.
Yeah, I roll.
And you said you had a knuckle game too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I can box. I trained with 72. I trained with all the old guys in Green Haven that were boxers.
Green Haven didn't they have a ring back then?
Yeah, they had a ring period. Elmira had amateur boxing.
Right.
Big Bobby Monroe, Nick's big
Yeah,
BG.
yeah, 'cause I
Bobby
remember
Monroe was one of the toughest dudes in New York State Penitentiary. Bobby Monroe. And Ernie Shavers wanted to put him down, but I don't know what was up with Bobby Monroe. I worked under them guys, you know.
They could back in the days. A lot of boxers came out of prison and got on.
Yeah. Then I worked out in the yard with they had the 5-state intercontinental champion Brady Howard. He's from New Jersey. I worked with him. I didn't spar with him now, because niggas would have knocked me out back then. But I worked with him. I worked for a year.
So growing up,
Norman
played
Miller was
sports.
there. Norman Butler, the one that's supposed to be down with shooting Malcolm, he was there.
So you said you didn't play no games. You always was like short fuse, like you get mad, or
I
you developed that once you got.
No, I never got angry or nothing, man.
You just handle your business.
I got no beef. I just took care of my beef and went about my business, man.
Like he was saying, he was a cool dude. He easy with somebody.
Yeah, I didn't bother nobody. I was in my crew. That's why you don't hear a lot of flashiness with me. I'm always
Nah, they ain't say nothing flashy about
I
you.
don't go none of that stuff, man. I don't wear jewelry, none of that
Nah,
stuff,
they ain't
man.
say nothing flashy about you. They was just more talking about, you know, how you don't play no games.
Nah, yeah, but I didn't. But that was in my world. You understand this? Outside my world, if I'm with him, your friends, your kids, and whatnot, I was Raymond. But they Ray short for Raymond. I was Ray, man. I wasn't trying to be Romar in that world. You know what I'm saying? I stuck to my world. I played the game that was played in my world, the arena that I was in. Like you're a boxer, you in the boxing ring. I was in a hustling arena. In that arena, everybody's runnable. I'm runnable also. I could have got knocked off. So I had to be.
Yeah.
I had to be on point.
Right.
Especially when you get a rep, they think you're going to put something in. You have to be on point.
Yeah.
So how did I handle that? I handled that by using brains. That's why I said we were more professional. We weren't amateurs. I handled that by not being everywhere, not being out at night, coked up all night, stuff like that, selling dudes tickets, thinking I'm better than somebody. I didn't do that. What our hand called for at the time, I put in the work when it was called for in the hustling game. Anything outside that, I ain't never did nothing, man.
So that's smart. Like you said, you take it in.
Yeah.
You take it and go home to your
Let me ask
family.
you a question.
And then remember, we was out of town a lot. We stayed out of town mostly.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, we was out. We had.
I can relate to that. I can
Yeah.
relate to that.
Yeah.
So I want to go back to the Shah Mecca story, right? Cause it's a little more. So just because our listeners, you know, they like to hear these stories, right? She got killed in the monarch or outside of the monarch?
Well, that's deep because you know they.
Because the rumor has it she got killed in the monarch.
I know everything, the rumors and everything about that, bro. So,
Yeah, but we got to deal with the real story.
it ain't no real rumor or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Right.
On that,
Yeah.
let me explain that another way. The feds, right? They work 20 years down the road. So in issues like that, you don't want to mess with.
I got you.
You know, what you want to do is you want to. We sit down.
Right.
We talk.
Right.
But you don't want to. That.
Right.
You know?
No, I just brought that. I'm leaving that alone.
That's why they always
when
say.
I was a little kid, I heard about it.
Because.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because it's the old saying.
I used to go to Monarch. I lived
Yeah.
on. I used on 147th Answer. I grew up on 149th man.
Yeah, the Monarch was Fat Stevie and Pete's uncle.
Right on the corner.
Yeah.
Peter Monsanto?
Yeah, that's the. I just talked to him the other day.
Fat Stevie, yeah.
That's Pete and Stevie's uncle that owned the Monarch. You know.
Who was the other bar?
Dante's.
Dante,
on
there
60th
you
Street.
come on, man. Right up the block on Broadway. Yeah.
Remember, I used to go to Devil's Inn, Connie's Ballroom.
Uh-huh.
I used to go to Manhattan Center. I used to go to the Cellar Ballroom when I was a teenager, man.
371, you in 371?
That's in the Bronx?
Yeah.
Downstairs on Clay Avenue?
Yeah.
That's on Clay Avenue downstairs?
Right
Downstairs. That's where I met Joe Frazier at.
Yeah, I used to live on 167.
Yeah, I went down there. I lived on Clay too back in the day.
Yeah, I lived 1179
Oh, yeah?
Clay Avenue.
Oh, so
Right
you know Walter Kinsey?
Yeah. Grew up right over there.
You knew Walter Kinsey?
Yeah, I didn't know him, but you know him.
Jerry Love?
Names and all that, yeah.
But Walter Kinsey's like a cousin of him. We always say we were cousins.
Yeah, I lived 1179 because, you know, like you said, we from Harlem, but we live in the Bronx too. My mother moved over to the Bronx.
Because, you know, 22 junior high school, my sister was in 7th grade with Valerie Simpson, you know.
Okay.
And my older sister went to Stitt up in Dykeman.
Valerie Simpson sing.
She was
Simpson.
Valerie Simpson.
Yeah.
She went to school there. She might have been born in Brooklyn, but she lived in the Bronx.
Yeah.
She went to school there. My older sister went to Dykeman up here.
Right.
And she was in school with Frankie Lyman.
Right, because you know them steps go up. You know where them steps is out on Clay Avenue?
It's on Hudson
Yeah, to go to
Street.
you got steps on Taylor Avenue. No, you got steps on
That's
Clay
what I'm
Avenue.
saying.
But you
I
got-
live right next to the
Yeah, I
steps.
live on Teller.
You live by the
Teller
school,
there.
53.
Right by the school.
Yeah, I went to that school in 3rd grade for a minute.
And Taff ain't too far from there.
Yeah, on 7th Street.
Oh, we have a caller. Caller, what up?
Yeah. Got ready for the call over there? Doc, take the speaker off.
The 80s.
Yeah, turn it up.
Who's that, Stephanie?
Caller.
Hello.
Go ahead.
How you doing, Romar?
Hey, what's up, Steph? What you want to know, Steph?
I want to know what was your life like between the early to mid 80s, and where were you and what were you doing?
Well, I was mostly out of town in the 80s. I was mostly out of town in the 80s. I was in Boston. Washington, Connecticut, Detroit, and then I was traveling back and forth. Then a couple of times I went up to Canada just to chill it once in a while. Mostly hustling in the 80s. In a sense, that was the heaviest time during my hustling years.
Okay, so in all your time being out,
Say that again. Make yourself clear, please.
I'm sorry, I was saying in all your time and being out, did you ever get married or have a family?
I had a family before I went in, and I thank God because when I came out, I got the same family back.
Oh, wow. That's big. That's big. That's big. That's right.
Yeah, I'm back with my same family that I went with. It. I remarried the same wife I married back then.
Wow. Okay, one more time. That's big.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you,
caller.
caller.
Thank you.
Get them likes up, get the subscribes up.
Yeah, man.
Also,
Come
definitely.
On, come on, Ro. Come on,
Yeah,
man.
definitely, man. That's some OG stuff
Yes,
there, man.
Tell you,
That's what
callers,
it's
they be
about.
Watching, man. All that streaming right there. That's all on. That's all you, bro. That's right.
Yeah. So, so I noticed that you had Jane Gotti, Angelo Ruggiero from the Gambino family part of your case. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, no problem. All of us was on the same case. Me, Heartbeat, a kid from Connecticut named Dix, Gene Gotti, Angelo Ruggiero, another Italian dude named Vito Lacano. All of us, and Pete Rolock, all of us was on the same case. Yeah. What happened was Gene Gotti and Angelo Ruggiero had a case in Brooklyn, which is the Eastern District. And our prosecutor was Rudolph Giuliani. In case people don't know, that's our prosecutor. Giuliani, they told Angelo Ruggiero and Gene, do they want to be on our case? They had a choice. They can come with us, stay on the case with us in the Southern District, or they can get a severance and go to the Eastern District. Italian dudes, you know how they do. They want to be with their own. So they went to the Eastern District, but Mark said, no, I'm staying with us.
So Mark Ryder, he talked about people. He stayed with them.
He stayed with us, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And
So how was Gene Gotti?
I was in Pollock. I was in Louisiana in the 5th. We was down in Pollock together. You go. You know, when you get locked up, man, you know, you talk to guys, and especially guys that's in that world.
Right.
We associate. We talk.
There you go.
You know, we walk the yard. We talk. You know.
Hold on, caller, for a second.
You know.
All right, we got another caller.
Caller, what up, caller? You here with Raymond Romar?
Romar, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's up, man?
It's Trev. It's Trev. Trev.
Yeah, what's up, Trev?
What's going on, man?
Nothing, bro.
I'm listening to the interview. The interview is coming out nice, man.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Yeah, man. But I just wanted to talk about, your your co-defendants and how Giuliani was the prosecutor on your case.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about now, Trev.
Right. Okay. Cool.
You want us to go in detail on that?
Yeah, I wanted to get a little better understanding on how he was your prosecutor and how you felt about him prosecuting your case at that time.
Okay, well, Giuliani was hard on Mark because Mark was in John Gotti's crew. But Mark is Irish and part Italian, so usually Italians claim that you got to be a made man, some ritual they got.
Yeah, you have to be
to become part of that main crew. But Giuliani definitely wanted Mark because what people didn't know that John had hands under the table. For the drugs, they never looked at John Gotti with drugs, but he had hands that he can reach. Right. So I guess through informers, they knew this. So I guess getting to Mark probably can help them get to him. But so somehow Giuliani got on Mark, and I was locked when I first got locked up. I was out of town. I got locked up out of town first in Maryland, and I was watching TV one night, and they had Mark on TV. I mean, they had Giuliani on TV saying that I'm coming to get you, Mark Ryder. I didn't even know I was on the case during that time. You see, then they transferred me to the district. Then they expedited me back to New York. That's when I found out me and Mark on the same case, being in the bullpen together. Romar, this is you? I said, yeah. Oh, you know. So Giuliani was the one that orchestrated that. You know, that's the same one that's they got up for indictment now. You know, the whole thing falling back in him. But he's the one that
I was about to
orchestrated
ask
everything.
you, do you think you got a fair trial under Giuliani's regime? Or,
No, you don't get a fair trial with them. Everything is stacked
Right.
against you. Everything is stacked against you.
Right,
Giuliani
'cause-
got known because the commission case in '85.
Yeah, everything is stacked against you. You don't stand a chance, man. So and the first thing they do, how they trap you off, is they let you know you're getting life. So either you got two things you're gonna do, and mine was automatic. Let's go to trial, because I'm not just signing myself to no life bid. If I'm gonna get life, then you're gonna have to give it to me.
Right.
Now,
Bottom line.
if you would have, was a plea deal offered, or you just was like,
Well,
I'm going to trial?
No, they offer the plea deals who they think they can get a plea from. I was on trial for a body charge down out of town, and for a year I didn't do no talking. They claim, I put in some work on somebody, but I never did no talking for one whole year. The reason why I didn't do no talking, because I had a lady lawyer. I said, am I guilty? She said, no, they have to convict you as long as you don't say nothing. So for a year, I never talked. So the feds already knew the information when they brought me back up to the Apple. So they said no sense in talking to Romar, because he's going all the way.
So what you got convicted on circumstantial evidence, or they had real evidence?
Well, they had evidence. They just didn't have no eyewitness evidence for me. With me, it was all word of mouth.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Like, they convicted you just on word of mouth. They ain't have no circumstantial evidence, right?
Nah, but what they do is, you got to understand, the feds can make a character in court out of you.
Right, that's what I mean. Like, they don't have to have circumstance. They don't have to have hardcore facts. All they have to do is paint a picture to the jury that you're a monster or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily have to have.
Yeah, but not any jury.
Talk about how.
But
how
hold up, Chad.
they...
Hold up, Chad. But let me explain something to you. They can do that, but they can't do that with any jury. See, they get what they call synonymous juries. These are people from different places. So if you from Binghamton, Idaho, and you look at the news of this stuff in New York City, it's a big thing to you. See, you got to understand, that's why they get synonymous juries. That's why they protect the jurors when they finish. They got to take them out secretly, put them in vans, and take them to a designated place. So that's how they do that. It's the game they run. You got to understand how they fabricate this game. You know.
So, with you, how many bodies they try to put on you on that case?
I think I got about 6.
They put 6 bodies on you.
Yeah.
And you beat them.
I didn't beat nothing. I got sentenced.
Got sentenced.
No, I know you got sentenced, but I thought you got sentenced for the drugs.
No, they gave me they gave me a 840 something, not 848. They gave me distribution and whatnot, which was illegal because nobody ever charged me with anything. I got 50. I got 20 for the bodies, 20 for the drugs, 10 for the conspiracy, and 10 more in the state running consecutively. And the reason why they tricked me up in the state, right? Because when I went back to the state, all the witnesses were still there. But I had 2 mistrials. But I didn't want to take a chance because I already was going to court in 3 states, Maryland, Washington, and New York at the same time, fighting bodies. So.
Caller, still in?
Thanks, caller.
Yeah, I'm
Appreciate
still
you.
here. Thanks, man. Appreciate y'all, brothers. Y'all keep doing your thing, man.
Definitely appreciate you, bro. Definitely,
Okay.
man. We definitely the callers calling in, man. We appreciate you. Sorry, other callers should have held on for a minute. I have a lot of callers. Yeah, this is real big education here, man. Like, because back then you under old law of 65%.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
But then again, no. It's only a good thing if you got 2 or 3 years. If you got 50 or 60 years, there's nothing good about that because they make you do 2/3.
65%.
2/3. Yeah, I had to do 30 years and 6 months straight.
Yeah, but think about right now.
Now it's 85%.
85%.
Yeah.
Yo, we got a lot of people from out of town.
Yeah,
Call
get
up.
that
Call
call.
up. Call up. What's up?
Hey, yo, this is Numbers, man. I'm trying to speak to my brother Romar.
Yo, what's up, Numbers? How you doing, man?
I'm okay, baby. You look good, man. Good
Thank
to
you, bro.
see you, cat.
Yeah, thank you, Numbers.
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Numbers. Ask what you got to ask, my brother. That's one of
Yeah, basically, I just wanted to talk about, man, I'm good, man. It's good to see you, man. And you telling it how it was, man. Letting the people know exactly just what it was out there, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we got a lot of phonies that slipped in through the back door just getting paid. And
yeah.
real brothers don't get a shot. Numbers. You know me since I was a youngster, so you know what time it is.
I was crazy because I seen, I was telling somebody because I pulled up the picture with me, you, and Vito at Hector's restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get with when you get a chance, get with
yeah,
Kevin.
yeah.
Get with Kevin and text me that picture.
Okay, I definitely will, man. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get right back, man, because everybody calling me, man. They talking about this here, talking about you right now, man.
Do you got any questions? Hey, Numbers, you got any questions you want to ask?
Basically, I was there. I lived it.
All right, brother. Right on, good brother.
I lived it. I know what it was.
Right on.
You know what I mean?
Call it.
Give a shout out to the beats
No
also.
doubt. No wow.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you on that, man. So, yeah, this is crazy, man.
I told you when you sat down, I said this story right here is going to be groundbreaking for us because we never had a real official triple.
No, you see that guy that just came on?
Right.
Yeah.
He knows me when I was in the street, getting cut up, fighting for free.
Right.
So when I got in the hustle, I said, hell no.
Caller, hold on.
I'm in the street.
Hold on, caller.
No problem.
When I was 19, I got shot in the chest 4 feet away by a police 38. It spun me around, knocked me down. I was doing a stick-up in the Bronx, a block stick-up. A drug addict stuck me with a K55 right by my groin section. I got stabbed in my kidney. I had a fight with 4 dudes. That's with them. I'm in somebody else's beef. I shot myself with a 357 by accident through my leg. They had to go to my stomach 4 times. I never had an operation. I never had accident on my stomach. They had to go through that way. I done had 13 major operations. I don't even talk about.
57 is big. Caller.
Caller, what up, caller?
What's good, Ro? This is Ed.
Yo, what's up, Ed?
I'm calling just to tell you congrats. Congrats on the beat for hosting them. What's your plan going forward, Ro? What are you looking to do with your story and how you want it to be told?
I want to be part of the solution now, because I was part of the problem back then. I want to talk to youngsters, man. I want to talk to young women and young men. And older brothers also, because I don't want to discriminate like it's just about young. It's about people, period. So I really want to try to be a motivational speaker. And try to help whoever I can help, man. I feel blessed. I thank God for the good times and the bad times. I don't got no problem. And I feel blessed. So I feel like that's my way of giving back. I want my story to be told like that, where somebody can say, man, you motivated me. You helped me. Thank you. But what I want to do here was I wanted to use the real issue that these guys asked me, these brothers asked me, because they have to know this. Sometimes when the guy get up there, what have you done? What have you been through? Why should I listen to you? Who are you? But if you tell some of the things that I was saying there, then it make a brother think, well, damn. This guy got something worth saying. So I want my legacy, not so much a legacy, because I don't really care about trying to be out there. I just want to be able to speak to people and help people, whoever I can reach, man.
Yeah, this way you can tell your own story. The people, they tell it for you. Like, for instance, that story that's on the internet, how long ago was that? The Bridgeport. That was like 10 years ago, right?
No, that was 1980s and 80s.
No, I'm saying when they did it.
Oh, I don't know when they did it, but
Yeah,
that was
it was a long
but that
time.
took place in the 80s,
Yeah.
man. Like 1981.
But ain't no better time than now to tell your own story
Yeah.
live. You live right
Yeah,
now.
I'm telling my story.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's live. It ain't pre-recorded.
No, I'm telling my story.
And at the end of the day, you let everybody know. Right now, this point in your life, it's about giving back.
It's got no gas. But what people don't realize is a lot of times when brothers, especially in my world, when they come up here or when they get God in their life and whatnot, a lot of people, especially me, I use this, I'm saying this now, a lot of people look at that different. Like me, I never asked God to take me out of my problems or anything. Never asked for no money or nothing. I only asked for one thing. Teach me about me. No, teach me about me. I want to know who I am. You know, I want to know why I go through what I go through. Why did my life be shaped from an athlete to the streets, to prison?
From a prep school.
Yeah, to prison. What exactly went terminal in me?
Right.
See?
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah, and show me the ugly side of me.
Right.
See? In this world, you have to learn how to be a one-some before you could be anything.
Exactly.
Then when you know how to be a one-some, you become a twosome. That's when you with your mate. And then when you be a twosome, you become a threesome. That's when the kids come. But you have to learn how to be a one-some within you first. A lot of times, as black kids, like us growing up in the city and whatnot, because the things that our parents and stuff go through, right? We carry a lot of demons from the past. That's genetic, but we don't never know about it. Until years later, usually when you're in prison or 4 walls, you get back and think. But still, a lot of guys don't know how to peel that apart. So I just went to the creator. They tell me how to peel mine apart. You know?
How to make it right.
Yeah, he showed me. This is the result of what you see. So I ain't mad at nobody. I fall in the pit, gaining your wit. When I got knocked off, it's nobody's fault. That's me. It's mine. I'm not saying I'm happy, like, you know, because I got locked up. Nah. But that's me. That's the path I went. Why should I tell on you? Why should I bring you down with me? For what?
Do the crime, you got to do the time.
Yeah.
100%.
And I was in there for 30 years and 6 months, and I had to think like everybody else thinking. I didn't know I was going to get out when I got out. But I didn't break. I didn't. I just dealt with it. What I did was I went to school and graduated from college, man.
Talk about it.
I got associate degree, and I got 100 college credits. I'm 38 credits away from a bachelor's degree. When I came home, I went to college about 3 years ago up here in 155th Street. This college up there on 155th Street on Broadway. But I dropped out the first semester because I was working in the construction world. When I came home, I didn't care about, oh, the OGs, you got to set them out. I didn't care. I didn't come home looking for nobody to do a damn thing for me, man. You know the first thing I said? I got to get a job and a car. I didn't look for no woman or nothing, man. That was the last thing on my mind. Come out here trying to, you know. That's not on my mind. I'm 30 years in prison at my age. What do I look like coming out in the street worrying about stuff that when I was a child? I came out and said, let me get a job, let me get a car, let me take it from there. I wrote my book in 2011. I wrote that book with my future in mind when I wrote it.
That's good. We have
and I'm on the back. Quiet legend.
They asking you about do you know Allah B?
Where is he?
I think he's from Jersey.
Where is he from?
I think I heard him. Allah B, right? I think from Jersey. Where you from?
Chance was he locked up with me? You gotta ask me what they locked up with me because I know I got people on over the place.
Right. He's an old timer, so I think he died. He died though. But anyway,
let's hold on. Let's talk about the book for a second.
Well, he said Harlem.
So what did you write this?
Quiet
Legend. What's this all about, brother? Read this right here.
Yeah.
This book illustrates a time in Harlem that has come to pass, yet the mindset and culture of this time period in Harlem, and never told in detail of what it really was in the fast lane or hustling world, nor the relationship with the community. I am describing my mindset as well as my views and state of mind. As I explain these issues, I pray that the message will be taken. The pre-50s, 60s, and 70s and early 80s was a time in Harlem that was indeed legendary.
Yeah. See, we're not legends. I use the title legendary not because we're legends. The time period in the community was a legendary period. Remember the Apollo? Back in the 60s, they had, back in the 60s, they had what they call Harlem Cultural Festival. Every summer, top groups would come to Mount Morris Park, Gladys Knight, Stevie Wonder, all the top, and put on free shows. Oh yeah, and put on free shows. A lot of people don't know that was in the 60s. We had we had a black station called, it came on channel 13. No, LIB was just our radio station. It was called it came on channel, no, this came on TV, channel 13. And the guy on 33rd Street, Alex Hazlip, used to run it. And we had the Last Poets, who was rapping back then in the 60s in Harlem. A lot of people never realized that. It was a cultural time, man. You know, not just that, the Apollo was cultural. That's right. You know, now.
Game room on 25th Street. Arcade, Penny Arcade.
Yeah, that was there.
Yeah.
You had that. You had Connie's Ballroom.
Renaissance.
Yeah, you had but the Renaissance was more for like the older crowd. Cause I was a teenager back then, so we didn't, you know.
I know the Renaissance.
Yeah, we went to the Devil's Inn.
Okay.
The Branca Show place on 55th Street. In the Bronx, they had Loveland. They had years later 371 where you go downstairs on Clay Avenue. They had that. They had it was on 160th Street, right, and down the block from the 42nd precinct. They had a dude out of Harlem, Fat Lenny, used to run it. You ever heard of Fat Lenny? No. Well, Fat Lenny was a hustler, but he was one of the dudes that opened up all the spots. Excuse me for explaining. The dance. The dancing. Fat Lenny. He'd open up Manhattan and he'd give the dances.
Right.
We had that. We had and then you had a lot of house parties back in the day. I mean, they were a thing back then. Yeah. He had all that, man. You know. Ask some more questions.
So you can see it's a big difference between the Coke, because the Coke came later on, like in the 80s.
No. They always had Coke, but Coke
they always had
Coke. Yeah, they always had Coke. They didn't have all that
crack
and whatnot. Back then, Coke was the rich man's game. Back in the day, you know, you couldn't. The Coke was for the brothers, the conservative brothers, and then it was cut where you didn't have to really blow a lot, like back in back then in the 60s. I didn't mess with it until the 80s, but in the 60s and 70s, I started. I hit it a couple of times in the 70s. You know, but that wasn't really the. I mean, they was the Coke houses had money now. Don't get it wrong, but that was for the top dudes, entertainers.
Yeah, the Coke was so strong back then. You had to cut.
And it was strong. You didn't have to, you know.
You had to cut because it make your nose.
Yeah.
That shit was
but the drug in Harlem was heroin, bro.
Yeah.
Heroin got big after 1947. What happened in 1945 in World War II? In the 40s, they started administering morphine to the soldiers, you know, over in Europe and whatnot. When they came back after World War II, by 1947, they started depending on heroin hits, the GIs in the streets.
Yeah.
And then it just worked its way up to Harlem.
Yeah.
And then it just became a fashionable drug.
Yeah, the coke game didn't really service until like the Bumpy Johnson days, right? Before that? When it hit Harlem, around that time?
No, they had Coke, but just the big time dudes, mostly all the street dudes, they didn't have no Coke. They had Coke didn't get big in New York City after the 80s, really, man. The crack.
Right.
Yeah, that's in the crack.
The 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s was like sniffing Coke for the hustlers.
Right.
To stay up. Man.
Yeah. Nah. Hit your woman, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, you ain't had Coke back then like a little bill.
Yeah, you
had to have a little.
Yeah, they were just to stay up.
He said we opened the bill back then.
And then you gotta understand. You gotta understand. I know you brothers. I know you have to feel, and I know this to be true. Ain't no way in the world any of you brothers feel bad when you got a pocket full of money.
Not at all.
You get it. It's a certain feeling.
Yes, it is.
But the feeling's even more certain when you know you got money the next day and the next day.
Yeah. Right.
See, so your whole concept is different.
It's different.
So you don't mind getting high.
Right.
See, because you ain't in the street.
Right.
You ain't. See, that's how Coke was back then. You ain't slumming and nothing like that. You high in the spot, you drinking. You got a car outside, you going to work. So that was the hustler thing. Most of all the street dudes like us, we were young. We were scrambling in the court. And
I like what you just said though about, that's real. You got a pocket full of money, right? Because we used to go out and say we might have like 10,000 in our pocket. We fucking this up intentionally. We already know we fucking this up. You know why?
Yeah.
Because even tonight or tomorrow, this shit coming back easy. It's gonna be back anyway. So what? So that pocket full of money just keeps coming.
Yeah, you ain't. Yeah, you ain't. Your feeling is different. Now, if we in the street, all of us, and we all broke, looking at each other, man, attitudes come up.
Yeah.
You know, you would just argue with your woman like, "Why you ain't you this?" Next thing you know, we all beefing.
I'm looking at Doc Chain and shit like that.
Yeah, we all beefing, man. This is why most of that.
He don't even know.
Yeah, this is why the average brother, and I mean when I say the average, I mean us. This is why a lot of us. It ain't that we like being by ourselves or we ain't sociable, but at times you want to be by yourself, so you can do what you do.
Peace of mind.
Yeah,
Think.
Yeah, especially when your money's low.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah,
I get attitude, not attitude where I want a problem, but I just want to think because I gotta get.
I didn't want to be.
I gotta get out of this.
I didn't want to be around nobody when I didn't have no money. I didn't want to be around no women, nothing. I just didn't feel right, man.
I got you.
You know, and you looking at cats with money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you see the honeys looking at them because you know all of us. We're brothers, you know, that's what we are.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Yeah, so you know how that thing go.
I want to let you know that ain't no old school thing. When they ain't got no money right now, he still won't be by himself.
So let me ask you this about the council. Was y'all part of the council?
Nah, we had our own crew.
I always thought.
No, the council is Nicky's crew.
Oh, you know, always thought about the council. I thought the council was kind of like the time you had a time split up the 5 families. This is what I thought the council was. I thought the council was, okay, your crew, this crew, this crew, this crew, and we come together as an understanding, like the time.
Right.
Like you bosses, like let's say, the guy who could be a boss, this guy could be like how the 5 families. They all bosses, Casey, Combo, Donano family, but they come to the table. So you saying the council was just
that's Nicky's crew. That's Nicky's crew. Yeah.
See, I never knew that.
Yeah, we was our own crew.
Oh,
yeah, he had his own team.
Yeah,
no,
see,
I know that. But I'm thinking
Nicky's nephew.
Saying, right?
See, Nicky's nephew was the man in our crew, Mike
Mellon.
Yeah, that was our own crew.
No, but you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. The council,
a council full of like bosses.
But now you got to understand now. It's hard to say it this way, you know. I'll say it another way so y'all understand. Guys got hands that can stretch all kind of ways, so you can put that together.
But
you know, your hands can reach you, your hand can reach me. You know. But a lot of times you figure the guys that are professionals and they're not trying to have no run-in with these feds. You know how they do.
Right.
They use the hands to reach.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So indirectly.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta,
they do shit
indirectly. Huh? So, when you was in prison, did you ever have any altercations with dudes because of they heard about how you was moving into town?
Nah, when I was in prison, most of the other dudes wanted to associate with us. They knew us.
Right.
Because everybody wants to associate with New York, bro.
Right. So you came in with a reputation already.
Yeah, but anybody that was associated had any type associated with Nick's name,
right,
prior to it, automatically somebody wanted to know something.
Hey, what's actually present the paperwork and all that shit? Like
they didn't have to ask us.
Right.
They didn't ask us nothing. Anyway, they didn't come up to me to ask nothing.
So
my trial was 5 months long. You want to know something? Yeah. Our trial was, public. They knew it.
Right.
They had to ask us nothing. Back then, when I got locked up, you didn't have to ask nobody nothing. You didn't have rats like that back then.
Yeah, it wasn't, because there's like a big. That's good what you just said, because I seen pictures when Nicky ratted. He had thing over his head.
Yeah.
So it's like now, you could rat and be on the block.
Well, he came back in my trial. He testified in my case.
Oh, he came back on your trial?
Yeah.
Because on his trial, how many people he put away?
I don't know. I really don't know, because I ain't too much under his trial. When he got locked up, I went to the state. I was in Attica. But he came back on this trial. He came back. Wow. That's right. Nick came. Jazz came. Italian Boys came. Coast Guard came.
How much time Jazz did? Like 30, right?
I ain't quite sure, but Jazz came. Leo Hayden. A couple other guys came back in my case. Feds brought Nick back.
So, how much time Nicky ended up doing?
Nick got. I don't know. He was in the witness protection programs. I'm telling you how
he hit the streets though. Hit the streets. He was super low. He was like Alpo.
Like 20-something years.
But
I think he did less than that.
But
No,
nobody.
like
But
20-something
see.
years.
But nobody. But see, the funny part about this.
He wasn't like Alpo, like came hanging in the streets.
No,
Nah,
but
he ain't doing
but
that.
the niggas were way older than him.
No, I'm saying he didn't come back out in the streets like how Alpo.
Yeah, but the level he's on it ain't even. I believe even in that league. But that's like this. That's you know, that's disrespect, man. Don't even.
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying he didn't come out like like now people be telling they come.
But he could.
That's
what
I'm saying.
But you got to understand
Not
the type.
that they're on the
Yeah,
same
but
level.
you need to understand. While you're asking me questions, I want y'all here. While you're asking me questions about my life and whatnot, right? And the things I told you, do you think it would be safe for him to come back out and broadcast and stuff? I mean, that's just common sense. You know damn well
I got you on that.
Yeah, my brain gonna last a minute, man. Come on, man.
Come on,
The type of brothers we are. What do you look coming back out?
Man. Come out for what?
No, I'm not saying.
Coming out to get killed? That's what he coming out for? That's like coming out to get killed.
Yeah.
I'm coming out to be killed.
No, but
You know what I mean? Niggas want to get in his ass, man.
No, but I'm saying that for the listeners to show the difference in errors. How that's what I'm doing. I know what it is. What I'm saying is I want to show the people the difference is back then was more consequences than that. That's what I'm saying. Right now, guys snitching be all out here, being parties and everything. Back then, that was a going for. Cause my father told me all the time.
No, nobody went for that.
That's what I'm.
I'm making
a difference in errors.
But you didn't have that many back then either, so you didn't have that problem.
Right, they didn't have a lot of.
They have a bunch of
snitches.
snitches.
That cold you said, and also you got to think about it. That no putting nobody down, but that's a whole bigger league than.
But y'all missing my point. I'm not saying far as on the same level. I'm saying the difference in errors. How back then, where he came home and he never, like you said, he would never come back.
Yeah, hell no.
Now, what I'm saying in this era, people can tell and come back around. That's all I'm saying.
That's because in this.
That's all I'm saying.
That's because in this era, it's a reason for that. You got more dudes with peer pressure, and usually the ones that do the most ratting is the leader of the crew, so everybody follows the leader. Because in the penitentiary, when I was in the penitentiary, which taking a point from what you're saying, most of them guys were coming in there was like hot. And the thing was, just branch yourself off because you can't touch them. If you touch them, the feds are going to protect you. They're going to lock you up.
And then back in the days, like he said, it wasn't that much snitching. And if you did snitch, it was consequences you had to face. And you know that, not just you, your families. Right now, a lot of niggas are snitching. So, they would say, nigga, why would nigga come at me?
But understand this.
But don't make it right.
No, but understand this.
Anybody said it might, but you saying the difference of now and then.
But understand this. This is for all of us. But this is what people don't realize, man. Back in them days, you couldn't get in the game. The VIP game. Mm-hmm. See, it's what people don't realize. Right. You just couldn't get in selling no drugs. Right. Ain't no hustler with keys giving out anything. It didn't work like that. You couldn't get in the dope game back in the days in Harlem, man. You just didn't walk in that game like you do today. Mm-hmm. You just didn't get in that. Right. That was a game you had to be about. It had to come to you.
Somebody had to vouch for you.
I know, not just that, you had to show.
Right.
When your number was pulled, you had to show. Okay. So everybody wasn't going to that back then.
Right.
See, so the dudes that got in that game, they were solid dudes because that's just the way it was. Mm-hmm. You couldn't do that. Years later, after the 80s, guys that got in the game based on how good they can hustle. See, you didn't get in the game based on how good you can hustle. You got in the game based on the type of dude you were. Right. Well, you a guy that can hold water, man. Mm-hmm. See, where back after the 80s, it's whoever hustles. If I got a friend, this nigga can pull money, we just pull him in. We didn't ask about his attitude or nothing. It wasn't like that back then. Back then, they would tell you to meet them on 12th Street, right? You would go there. If they come back the next day, you wasn't there, you out, man. I stood on 12th Street there a month straight, man. Just out on the block wondering what the fuck going on. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah. And dudes would come up in the crew that I didn't know. Yeah, what's up, man? He said he'd get with you. And we leave. I don't know who the fuck this guy was. I'm like, yeah, no problem.
The real shit.
Yeah, but I'm still there.
Yeah, right.
I ain't got no money.
Right.
I'm young, I'm broke,
Right.
but I know that if I'm going to get in and I'm going to get some money, and them niggas say be here, be here.
There you go.
That's how it was, man.
There's no order back.
You know, yeah, be here.
That's why I always say I like that era better, because right now it's like
It's over, man.
It's over.
How about that? It's over, man.
I remember they told me, hey man, they said meet them 152nd on 8th. I said no problem, man. Go up 8th Avenue. Yeah, I got there about 10 o'clock in the daytime. About 3 o'clock now. I'm like, the fuck, man. I know what's going on, right? I'm like, man, motherfucker, man. Motherfuckers, man.
Initiation.
That's how I went back then, man. You just didn't get in no game, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. But listen, man.
Hold on, we got a caller.
Hold on. We can't. Hold on. We gotta make this short because our program director's minutes in.
All right, hold on. We got a caller. The caller, what's up?
Hello, this is Kevin. You hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, this is Kevin. I'm Ro's man, right? What's up, Ro?
Yo, what's happening, man?
Yo, I wanted to just ask from you because I work for he helped me a lot, man. He was at his point and he told me, yo, don't follow me, man. You get out the streets. And I've been working with foster kids, man. I help over 600 to 700 kids a year. I need to put it out for the youth, though. When you was going, how do you stay focused when you came home, man? You know, a lot of brothers say they have plans, but a year or two later they back in jail or they dead or something like that. How do you tell loose once you come home? You know, people say persevere, but what did you have to do to stay focused? Can we get that answer, bro?
Yeah, definitely. It's according to how I view life. It's how you view and what you look at.
Okay.
You know, I went to God. Some other guys go to Allah. They go to, some guys go to Buddha. Me, I went to God. You know, and I didn't ask. And I did whatever it take to keep myself whole.
Okay.
You know, I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't gossip. I didn't watch TV.
Okay.
I wasn't about TV. I got in the books. I stayed in the law library and in the art room. When I wasn't there, I was writing home, sending my daughter money. I sent my daughter money 8 years straight, anywhere from $100 to $800, 8 years straight.
That's what's up.
You know, I didn't bother my wife. Like, I wasn't jealous or nothing, man. I just worked on getting out, man. My whole thing was, my whole thing was, this is not the end of me. I'm not gonna rot and die in here. Bottom line, man.
Got you. I got you. Thank you. I ain't gonna hold you too long. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, y'all. Y'all brothers is doing a blessed thing, man. Stay blessed, man. Stay focused. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for calling in and subscribing. Hitting that like button. Appreciate you.
Yeah. All right, Romar.
Romar is in the